customer called us out today for noise complaint, which is pretty common. We get that a lot in the wintertime when it's 10 degrees outside, especially in Oklahoma where we have pretty variant weather. It can cause that unit to run all the time. And one of the most common sounds we get is the blower is being way too loud, which when it's running under heat, especially in the winter, it gets loud. And it also helps by changing your filters, getting maintenance done regularly, making sure that that blower wheel is clean, make sure there's no dirt on it, which can cause that blower to have to work harder and ends up making it a lot louder than it needs to be. When I come out for noise complaint, first thing I check is filters to make sure those are clean. If it has a dirty filter, that can cause that unit to work harder to pull more air through it. I also check your blower wheel, like I mentioned, make sure that's clean. And then I also check to make sure that everything's amping out like it should. Because if it's pulling high amps, that tells me that motor is having to work hard just to supply air to the house. Usually I will stick my phone inside here and take a photo of underneath here, and I will inspect that blower wheel itself to see how much dirt is built up, because it's a pretty common occurrence. It doesn't look too bad. The customer did say they changed the filters out recently, that it was really loud with dirty filters, which can cause the blower to be louder because it's going from a heavy load trying to pull air to no load at all. So you might notice it being a lot louder after you change them out. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check this capacitor. I'd make sure that power was turned off first. That way I don't hit myself with 120 volts. And then we'll check our capacitor here. So it's reading 15.2. It's just a 15 microfarad capacitor, which that is right within range. It's exactly what we want to see on that. Capacitor like this one has a plus minus 6% range. So anywhere from 6% under 15 and 6% over 15 is generally what we like to see. Anything below that or above, we recommend changing them out before they start to cause damage to your system. Next thing I'm kind of check is make sure that we're amping out good. So holding this door switch, and we'll check your inducer first on amps. 1.1, they have it labeled exactly what you want to be reading. So this is 1.05 amps and we're reading 1.02, so that's right within range. So, and it might change once we get flame, because once that motor's under heat load, the amps will go up as well. And then I will also go over here and I will check once this blower kicks on, because it goes through a series of operations. You got your inducer to vent out stuff, then you got your burner will ignite after it goes through all its safeties, and then the blower kicks on to push that heat through the rest of the system. We're pulling about 6.27 amps on this blower, which is a little high. We want to see that a little bit lower, around 5. So that could possibly be what's causing the noise, which it sounds a lot louder with the door off than it would with the door on. This customer does have an iWave, which is a ionizer. It helps eliminate viruses, bacteria in your ductwork. It also helps with dust issues, free-floating dust in the house. What it does is it clumps up those dust particles pretty well, and it will cause those dust to be bigger so your filter catches it. So one thing I like to check with the ionizer is checking the ductwork to see if there's any dirt built up on that plenum as well. Because a lot of time, if you have a lot of dirt inside there, start kind of hearing a squealing noise. So I'm not really seeing anything on here that's causing too much issue. I would have to go down into the house itself to kind of double check to see how loud exactly it's getting. But sometimes after you change your filters, that noise might go down over time once that motor adjusts to having not such a big restriction on it. I came out here for a call for a noise complaint, and I haven't noticed anything out of the ordinary. Everything seems to be running like it should. Everything ignited and fired off. We get a lot of those during this time of the year, but we don't mind coming out to check your guys' systems. It's good that you have someone to call, like Yarbrough & Sons, to come and check, because it's better to get checked than not have it at all and then something go bad when it gets cold. So, but yeah, we are glad to come out and make sure everything's running well.